that I have trying. Oh, I got this watermelon. Hello. Hi, everyone. Oh, hi, Wickshire. Good to see you again. All right. Let's put these up. Good to see you. I realized, oh, are you sure? Hello, planting garlic today. All right. Okay, maybe I should get my, I don't have my garlics on me right now. I'm gonna put on my shoes. Garlic today that we're gonna start. Let me see these. Actually, majority is already small. Hello, hi Wickshire. Yeah, Wickshire, have you planted garlic before? Or is this would be my second year, or it's multiple years now. I've been growing, I guess, 3rd generation garlic. It's from store-bought. So, I mean, it looks like something, I don't know if I cured it properly or whatnot, but you'll see how it's made. I don't know if it was a curing problem or if it was, or if it's like a rot of some sort. Oh, okay. Well, then you totally should. Because you're also in a climate that gets some frost but is not freezing or not cold for too long. We have similar climates, right? I mean, either way, even people in the north will grow it. So I've actually grown from store-bought. I bought it. Usually the varieties at store-bought is considered soft net garlic, right? So that's what I have here. I have lots of it. I have a whole trove, and these are the ones that I plan to try and plant from seed. You think? It has like, it's yellow though. And I don't know, I was looking it up. There's a thing called Fusarium rot. And so it looks like a little bit of what I have here. And then when they say plant your cloves, they always say to plant the healthiest ones. So, I don't know. It's like hard, it's a little hard to see, right? Here we go. See, it's got a little bit of yellow on it. Your issue is bed space, yeah. Yes, so I was looking it up and it looks like, I don't know. Hello everyone, thanks for joining. We're planting garlic today. I am going through my cloves here. These are all cloves that I grew from prior years. And it originally started from store-bought garlic. There was this one year where I saw all the gardeners planting garlic. This was maybe, 3-4 years ago. And they're like, oh, go to the store or go buy it online. And when I went to go look online, it was like $9 for like a little clove. I was like, why would I go to the store when I can just go to the grocery store and buy some and also eat some at the same time? Anyway, so I've been growing store-bought garlic. Hello, 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 it's Kitty. Welcome. So yeah, I have, if you guys are enjoy buying garlic, right? So that is why I am growing store-bought, and it's been fine, especially since I am in the southern part of the U.S. where you can grow soft net garlic. There's 2 varieties of garlic, in case anyone's curious. There's a soft net garlic, which is, oh, I don't have it on me. Okay, but literally the neck of the garlic, actually, hang on a second. Give me 30 seconds. I'm gonna go grab the garlic and be back. Yeah, before winter, so hang on. Oh, and just to preview real quick, so you would plant these now, and then you would, especially in the southern part, in the northern part, you would have already planted them, and they would have been hard net garlics before your first frost, at least 3 weeks. But here in the south, we plant soft net garlic, and ideally at least 3 weeks before your first frost. Okay, yeah, hang on, I'm gonna be right back. I got distracted. I wanted to show you soft net garlic. I don't have any hard net garlic because I've never grown them, but I wanted to show you what it means. Hang on, give me 15 seconds starting now. And I'm back. Okay, so here, this is all the other cloves I also grew as well. You'll see I braided them. You can tell they're not store-bought just because it seems like I've like left dirt on them and whatnot. And there's generally still dirt. What I wanted to show you was this is considered, this is considered the soft neck garlic. So this is the neck of the garlic and it is soft, bendable. So if you're growing a hard neck garlic, more common for the northern part of the US, and ideally you probably would have already planted by now because some of you guys are already experiencing frost. The neck of this would not be bendable like you see here. The other differences that I understand is that hard neck garlic, which again is grown up north, is more pungent than soft neck garlic. So soft neck garlic is going to be more mild in flavor. But soft neck garlic also stores longer than hard neck garlic. So hard neck garlics, I understand you can typically find them at farmer's market, but they'll not be found in the grocery store because they just don't store as well. However, soft neck would. Which is why, as I was saying 3-4 years ago, I went to the grocery store, bought garlic, is likely soft neck, and have been growing it ever since then. You do the whole process of seed saving after every season, right? So each of these, So each of these garlic cloves, thank you, Itsy Kitty. Thank you. I hope you learned something new. And if you want, you should also check out Wickshire. He's been a huge help to me, always helping moderate here. But he's also a wealth of knowledge as well, as you'll see him comment. So this is garlic. Each of these cloves is going to form a whole, full bulb, right? So you would take your garlic and you could break it up and plant each one of these, and come May and June of next year is when you're going to harvest a full bulb like this. I do have a video out there somewhat recently published within the last 7 videos which talks about and kind of shows you what the 9-month is going to look like. Just to so I've braided it here, but this is underneath the ground, right? So this is underneath the ground, it's growing, and then above ground is just a bunch of leaves. It looks like a leek. It looks like a leek, except thinner in stem. And if you look at that video, the 9-month one, it kind of shows you generally what it looks like. It's really unexciting up top above ground because it's just like leaves, but underground your cloves are growing. Let's see, what do you say? Always, yeah. Yep. I mean, it's not even tips. It'll be more like long leaves. So it'll probably be like a foot tall in height is what you should expect. And even when it's snowing, they'll still be growing. So keep your garlic well mulched. Typically, they sprout when the biggest chance of frost or the biggest chance of hard freezes have passed. And they do fine without a greenhouse, which is why these are really great crops to grow for winter crops. This and onions. Onions is the one that's going to grow really well. I've also been I'm planting onion seeds. That is something you should be starting now if you're curious about it. Or you can just buy them from sets, which are essentially baby onions that you plant in January of next year. Anyway, so back to garlic. Yeah, one year I will also grow leeks. Leeks, I understand, are specifically spring crops, though. So you can only plant them after chance of frost has passed, unlike garlic. Garlic is hardier, and I think it's mainly because yeah, I don't know why, but garlic and onions are the ones that can withstand freezing temps. Wickshire, what are you saying? I keep telling my wife to get me a few 40 bags of clay and sand and a small bag of manure. Oh, you do have compost, and you have a good amount of it, Wickshire. Yeah, Wickshire and I here enjoy growing or making our own compost, and I think it's a very sustainable way of doing it, right? Because I think if you constantly buy compost, that's like money out the door every single time. But honestly, if you're eating food and if you're growing foods, you're gonna have a lot of kitchen scraps. If you're not already feeding it to your chickens, or if you don't have any, you should definitely be mixing it with some dirt, dried bits, and making your own compost. All right, so back to this. We were talking about the garlic braids. Let me know if you guys have any questions, or like Itsy, if you're still there. Hello. Let me know if you guys have any questions. What I was sharing was each one of these cloves, you plant it about as deep as it is tall. So about this height, right? And then Cover it with your dirt and compost ideally, and then mulch on top. And that's the way you just leave it undisturbed for until May or June of next year. In terms of placement, so I mentioned you want to leave it undisturbed. What does that mean? That means you're going to have to be strategic with your placement. And Wickshire, we were talking about beds, but it doesn't have to be in a bed now that I think about it. I say bed only because in prior winter times I typically did not have a greenhouse set up, so I had lots of space over the winter time because everything had died back. But now that I'm trying a greenhouse situation, I'm going to be a little bit more strategic about where I plant these, because some of those beds, I don't really have beds because I grow in my front yard, but some of those beds will be occupied with greenhouse covered plants hopefully this season. Yeah, so about 2 inches deep. About 2 inches deep, yeah. And just think about it like this. It needs to have enough protection from the elements, right? So the deeper you plant it in the soil, the better. Again, not too deep though. So again, that's why it needs to be at least as deep as it is tall. 2 inches. Super loose soil is ideal for any bulbing or rooting vegetable. So you'll get bigger bulbs, but sun is another big factor. I tried to grow these in my backyard, but somewhat unsuccessfully. The bulbs were a lot smaller. And I think it has to do, well, not only with soil, but also your sun requirements. And these still need at least 6 to 8 hours of sun, so they need full sun in the wintertime. You're going to need to be strategic because in the wintertime, what do we have less of? Sun. So typically that means you want to find any southern exposure facing area, usually against a south wall, so a wall that gets southern sun. In my case, my house faces south, which is why I grow in my front lawn. That's where I get great sun all year round, even in wintertime. And that is exactly where I'm going to be planting my garlics again this year. Hello, the Real Housewife. Do I need to amend my soil before planting? I think it would be good. So typically I do like soil and compost mixed. But you should just try it without, because I've definitely grown plants in my front lawn that I didn't amend the soil with prior, and they grew fine. Though the following year you would probably need to replenish the nutrients in the soil though. So yeah, I would say some soil and compost is a good idea for your garlic to grow in. Okay, let's see. Wickshire, a little soil prep never hurts. Yep, but manure and compost always gets things right. Yep, as Wickshire is saying. Check for soil compaction, yeah. We composted cherry tomatoes. What? Oh, Wickshire, you're saying you composted cherry tomatoes? Never again. Why? Because it grew a bunch of cherry tomatoes? That's the only problem I can think of. So yeah, the Real Housewife, let me know. Okay, so like I was saying, I'm not sure like when folks have joined or not, so I'm just gonna kind of recap. I know Wickshire, you've been here. So I've been growing garlic. This would be my third year growing from garlic. In the southern part of the U.S., we grow soft neck garlic. There's two types of garlic. Soft neck means the neck of the garlic is soft, whereas in the north, they have to grow hard neck garlic because that's more suitable for their colder climates, and the neck of theirs is less bendable. Soft neck garlic is likely the ones that they sell in the grocery store just because of its longer storage life. Hard neck garlic, by comparison, has a much shorter storage life. 3 years ago, I was like, I told myself, well, why would I go to the garden store, buy a bulb for $9 when I can just go to the grocery store and buy it for a whole lot cheaper and also eat it? Like, it didn't make sense to me. Why would I make that extra trip? So yes, I have been growing store-bought garlic for the last 3 years. I've kind of lost track. But point being is, I've grown it over multiple years, and this is what you would call second or third generation garlic at this point. Every year you just save some of your bulbs to replant. And that's what we're going to be doing today. Fall is the time, or now in October is the time when you should be planting garlic in the southern part of the U.S. In the northern part of the U.S., you would have already planted it, because I know some of you guys are already experiencing frost or have frost shortly coming up. The timeline is generally at least 3 weeks before frost hits is when you want to plant these, because that means your roots have a chance, or the roots of your just freshly planted garlic have a chance to root and establish themselves before frost comes. All right, let me make sure I'm keeping up. They're everywhere. Yep. Yes. Zone 7A, excellent Real Housewife. Zone 7A, I just came across your live a few minutes. Okay. Oh, exciting. Grow bags would work. Okay. Oh, you and Wickshire are in the same zone. Okay. Grow bags can also work. I think what I would just say is have a way to protect it, right? So in the ground, there's not going to be as much temperature fluctuations than in grow bags or containers. So do keep that in mind. Let me go grab my container here. I did plant 2 garlics just for testing purposes in a little container over there. Let me grab it. Give me 5 seconds. I'm going to just turn it off temporarily. Hang on. All right. Okay. So I did go ahead and plant these just for video purposes. Okay, so it's kind of a tall container. I probably didn't need that tall of a container just for garlic, because garlic, it grows like this, right? It grows upright. So the top kind of looks like leeks. It's a bunch of leaves, a stem, and a bunch of leaves coming out like leeks grow. Except the bottom bulbs like a garlic would, and here is where your roots of your garlic would have been. So these are your roots, and it smells so good when you're digging these up in May and June of next year. It smells like garlic. The dirt smells like garlic. The air smells like garlic. It's fabulous. So yeah, they're growing like these roots. These are the dried roots of them. And what was I going with this? They're growing upright like this, so about 2 inches below surface. They're big in the container. Yeah. Hi, Richard. Good to see you. Let's see. I'm just catching up here on the chat. Wickshire, you're saying we do have grow bags. It's a love-hate relationship. Yep, they dry. So exactly what Wickshire is saying. The thing about growing containers, because I will start most of my stuff in containers just so I can get it started. Usually I don't have the space in the ground ready yet, so I'm always starting my seeds in containers. And I find the same thing that Wickshire is referring to, which is you have to constantly water them, especially in the heat of summer, and then you do have to make sure it stays moist, right? So growing containers, even in the wintertime, is a similar problem where you just experience more temperature fluctuations. So think about maybe, I don't know, blankets if it's like extremely cold that day, or even around the bottom, right? Because think about it, garlic in ground is going to experience less temperature fluctuations than it were in a container. So okay, we were going back to the containers. Let's see. Yeah, so as Wickshire is saying, yes, definitely mulch if you can. I put a little bit of mulch at the top here, but when winter actually comes, I will do it. I will add more. Look, it says my little garlic thing. So in here, planted in here, I have 2 bulbs, one here and one here. It's about a 6-inch distance that you want, and the reason why is because it's bulbing, right? You have a clove that is going to grow into a full bulb. So it needs space. At least 6 inches apart between cloves is what's recommended. And it's about 2 inches deep. So where are they? They're somewhere in here. What I found, FYI, is, and it actually smells a little bit like garlic. Probably because I'm not perfect at curing yet, but so if you properly cure your garlic, there shouldn't be any smell. Like this one does not smell like garlic. Okay, this one doesn't smell like garlic either, but those bulbs in here definitely do smell a little bit like garlic. I'm gonna grow it and see what happens out of it and kind of better keep track of what happens to the ones that do smell. But I also feel like that's why I had the mice come, the mice or rats came by and actually snatched one of the bulbs the other day. So, if you have garlic that smells, I would just think about some sort of protection if you know you have mice or rats in the area, because I definitely had one of my bulbs stolen. I mean bulbs, sorry, not bulbs. Cloves stolen. Let me see if we can find it real quick. It's somewhere in here. So what I was saying, the Real Housewife, you don't need that much soil, but I would say at least like 4 inches deep is probably what I would recommend. 2 inches for just this, and then another 2 inches for the roots, or 2 or 3. Sometimes the roots get pretty long, so I would say maybe at least 5 inches of depth. I did a lot more here, but that's just because I didn't know that I was going to be planting garlic, but ended up planting it here, and it was already full, so that's what I did here. Okay, let's see, where my garlic in here? Gosh, I hope they're still in here. They should be. The soil was untouched this morning. Oh gosh, where is it? Oh. Let's see how you're doing. I'll be growing, the best part is you will never overwater grow bags. Ah, yep. We have a friend up north that does elephant garlic. I tried some raw. He just waited. I coughed my brains out. So, really? I read that elephant garlic was supposed to be more mild. Anyway, so you guys, if you guys are, let me know if you have any questions. Okay, small raised beds, cheap, plastic square, cement, multi-size, deep square, perfect for its kind. Yeah, yeah, that would be pretty good for that. I'm thinking about the cement. Yeah, yeah, I would say you would at least need 5 inches of soil to have it grow well. I didn't know my, yeah, no, Richard, it definitely did. It definitely did. Because at night, I checked on my plants, I water them, I cover them, whatever. And this one, I did not. And the next morning, it was gone. It was definitely like a gaping hole. And I'm pretty sure it's not the squirrels because it somehow just disappeared overnight. Anyway, I'm pretty sure they do. So the thing is, like I was saying though, is it did smell. Like it wasn't perfectly cured anymore, right? So I wonder if the smell attracted it and then it either took it away or something. Okay, wait, where is my garlic though? Uh-oh. Hang on a second. I wanted to dig it up. Now I can't even find it. Where did I put it? It should be in here. Let me know if you guys have any questions. Oh, something's growing. Okay. Where is my garlic? Oh, goodness. All right, hang on a second. I have a 10-compartment grow bed that my husband got for me that were 6. Okay, that's perfect then, Real Housewife, because that means you've got enough to plant the garlics in, and then that means you've got like at least another 2 inches for mulch. Perfect. And then, again, like I said, if you're worried about the sides of the containers, because those are exposed, right, that's going to make the temperature of your soil cooler than it would be. I would probably put some sort of, like, blankets around the base of your containers as well, just to keep it warm around the containers. I've seen those multi-square bags. Neat idea. Very cool. Okay, where did my garlic, though, go? Okay. All right. Let me know if there are any other questions or topics that I haven't covered yet. Oh, in terms of watering. I think that's one of the questions that I get. What about watering? Keep the soil moist, but not too wet. So, I mean, the best way to do that, I know, is just like literally put this much of your finger in and see if it feels moist. Keep it moist. Don't overwater it though, because like it does grow underground, and you don't want your little clove to rot away before it's even started growing. Do you need a fertilizer? Like initially when you're planting, just use a soil and a compost mix initially. So something that's loose, right? Because it does grow underground. You want it to easily grow. You don't want a lot of compact soil. That's why soil plus compost is a good mix. Compost gives it like an airier, more structure, so it can grow better in that space. And initially, I think all you need to do is initially provide it that right space, and then you're good to go for the next 9 months or until May or June of next year. Richard, you're saying at present I will be growing vegetables indoors using UV full spectrum lights because of weather. Ooh, nice, Richard, awesome. Where did my garlics go, though? Oh, that's interesting. I need to get an actual, I also got like a tomato growing in here. Okay, let me get actual gloves. Let's see. Wickshire, what are you saying? I know onions are heavy feeders, no harm. Yep. Yep, onions, garlic, yeah. But I would say again, as long as you initially put them in there, I think it's okay. Oh, Real Housewife, just make sure it is in a sunny area, right? You still need sun. These still need sun. I know it's kind of tricky. We call them winter crops, but it doesn't mean that they need any less sun. They need just as much. Onions and garlic both need at least 6 to 8 hours of sun to form large bulbs. So place it in a sunny area. For me, I grow my front lawn because it is the sunniest place all year round and faces south, so that's where I'm going to be growing again. If anything, I'm just going to be, because I'm going to be putting in ground for the most part, I am going to be, I think, trying to put it around garden beds. They say it's good to deter pests by planting onions and garlic at the edge of beds. I think I just shared with you guys that I'm pretty sure the mice took one of the cloves. Um, but perhaps when they're green, they release a stronger smell than when they're dormant like this. Yeah. And then the other thought would be, this is more for me because I've been growing garlic for multiple years now, just thinking about crop rotation, because like any other vegetable or plant or not fruits, but like any other vegetable or fruit or anything crop that you plant, it can harbor, the soil itself may harbor diseases. You just want the soil to be more balanced. So do try to think about not planting the same location that you did in prior years. This will be the first year I actually practice crop rotation, and I think it'll be good because I'm not sure what I was doing here. I'll figure out I'll figure out where those went in a little bit. But what I was showing you guys was I was separating out some of my cloves that I planned to plant. You always want to pick your biggest cloves. Oh, that's the other thing. So when you plant, it's kind of like natural selection, right? You're doing natural selection for your future bulbs. So you always want to plant the biggest ones. The biggest ones. You'll see I've got a little bit of yellowing here. Here's where I'm going back to the crop rotation discussion. I've got a little bit of yellowing here. I was trying to look it up, and I feel like this looks like what they call online as fusarium rot. Essentially, it's a disease that's soil-borne and can pass from garlic to garlic. So that's where I think when I practice crop rotation this year, I'm hoping to avoid this. I don't know if it's this or if the way I cured it. I'm not sure what is actually causing this, but maybe that's not a good example, but here it is. Like the cloves have a little bit of blemish on that. I mean, we still eat it just fine. I'm just wondering if my soil could be healthier. So I'm definitely going to be practicing crop rotation, not planting in the same spot that I did prior years, just to avoid any blemishes on my future crop of garlic. Let's see, what were you saying? The bags I'll be growing in is where I plant green. Oh, okay, perfect. That's great. Yeah, green beans are a great nitrogen fixer, so that's very exciting. That's very exciting. Are great nitrogen fixers. Excellent. Richard, you're saying use topsoil with chicken froze. Yep, Richard, yep. We were talking about earlier, use soil with a little bit of compost. Again, just to create that looser structure, because these do grow underground like carrots do, and you want them to have the space and the room to really flourish. But yes, do pick the biggest cloves, because that means you're going to get bigger bulbs, right? So do pick the bigger cloves and the healthiest ones. So this is a big bulb. I don't know why it has yellow. It might be okay to still plant. But like this one, by comparison, you just might get smaller ones. I mean, if you're really desperate, you might as well plant it, right? Better some garlic than none. But if you have a choice, always pick the bigger garlic, because those will form bigger bulbs. Like I said, one garlic plants a full bulb. I talked about crop rotation, right? So that's something that I'm going to be doing this year. I think most of you guys may be more on the beginner side, so you guys don't need to worry about crop rotation yet. But yes, do be thinking about where you're going to plant it next year, and that it should be in a different spot than this year, just so you avoid potential things like this. Again, I'm not sure exactly what this is. I think it's called fusarium rot, but it is definitely some disease that I noticed this year in my garlic that I didn't see in prior years. Thank you guys for the likes, by the way. You liking this live helps me rank higher and gets gets me more exposure to new audiences. So thank you for liking. Let's see. Wickshire, you're saying reblend, water it. Let it rest 40 hours and get it back growing. Uh-huh. You must still be talking about compost, Wickshire. Oh, okay, so here, again, I don't know if this is rot from when I grew or if it's my improper curing. So once garlic, let's talk about that. So in May and June, you've grown your garlic. This is just so you guys can preview and understand it. I guess you don't need to know the specifics now, but in May or June when you harvest it next year, it's going to be all green, and you need to go through a process of curing it, which means drying it for long-term storage. Like garlic and onions both, you need to dry them in a well-ventilated area out of the sun. For me, I have just been haphazardly like placing it in the shaded part of my roof, just outside, where it is, where it gets some ventilation. Well, we'll cover that in more detail, but just so you know, you do need to cure these so it can store like this. Curing means that the top of the green parts are going to go brown, all the way brown, so that you can store them for long-term use and braid them. Wickshire, if you're worried about bad container soil, solarize it on type 1. Yeah, that's a great idea. That's a great idea, Wickshire. Yeah, yeah. I think for me, I'm always just thinking. I think I try to think holistically. So not only about our health, but also just about the way we grow food in general. And it probably just means there's some sort of deficiency. And like you were saying, Real Housewife, it could be we just need to fix nitrogen in the soil. And so that's where growing beans and peas too, right? Anything in the legume family is going to fix nitrogen into the soil, and lots of things need nitrogen to grow. So it could be that, and it could be just adding something to the soil that just makes it more balanced for different types of plants to grow and grow well. Oh, I see. Okay. But yes, so like this, I would not be planting this clove. I would be throwing this in the compost. Again, I don't know if this is due to my improper curing or if it's due to disease on the garlic bulb itself. But this, I'm going to put in the compost over to the side here. Okay. Like these. Okay. Are there any questions or thoughts so far? Peas in lower number zones, good. Higher zones, 8. Yeah. Stressful. Wickshire. Yeah. Yeah, you're saying peas. Yeah, I was just talking about peas as nitrogen fixers because that's what Real Housewife was mentioning. She was going to be planting her garlic in grow bags that initially had green beans in them. We were just going to see how green beans and peas are nitrogen fixers. Yes, yeah, for the most part, right? Yeah, I definitely do have some. We've definitely also consumed some as well. And these were harvested in May and June of this year. I don't know that we're going to be able to, we're going to finish this before May and June of next year. But that's okay. And hopefully I'll be able to regrow some of these as well. Or hopefully these will grow well next year. But yeah. Yes, I'm excited, The Real Housewife. Thank you for joining me. Hi, Bouchon. You wove those? Yeah, right. Okay, so this is called garlic braid. And because garlic has stems that kind of grow like leeks, once they dry all the way back through the process called curing, usually takes 2 to 3 weeks. And basically what you're doing during the curing process is you're letting the bulb hang upside down and allowing all the greenness in the leaves, all that energy go back into the roots and curing it for long-term storage. So that's what the curing process does. It's letting all that energy from the leaves get back into the roots so you can have it for long-term storage. This, like I said, is soft net garlic, which means that it can store for up to 12 months potentially if properly cured and stored. This is in May I harvested, and this is, what are we? 5, and we're in 10. This is 5-month-old garlic that's been cured and harvested. Okay. So we talked a little bit about the rot that I was experiencing, and again, I think I'm gonna try crop rotation this year, so planting it in new spots that I haven't in the past. I've been growing in the same spots in 50% of the same spots the last 2 years, and probably time to change it up. Though I will say I do plant other things throughout the year though, so it's not as if I only plant garlic. But we'll change it up anyway. Hi Rosamond, thank you. Yeah, I got my hat on because that means sun protection. Let's see. And then I got my linen shirt on for breathability, but again, sun protection, right? Yep, I totally am. But yeah, totally am not as well. I'm just a gardener. I don't even have chickens yet. I don't even have chickens like Wickshire does. Wickshire, you're saying another one of our friends' sweet potato garden. His entire second floor, wow, is covered in newspaper and hundreds of tubers curing over a month. That is amazing. I have grown sweet potatoes as well. Not this year though. I got started way too late on them. That is exciting. All right. Should we go out and try to plant here? Let me see. So I'm gonna pick this one. This one looks good. Oh, I forgot to say, when you have the cloves, just leave the skin on, the skin of the clove on. You don't have to unpeel it. This protects it. Let's go plant this. I'll take you guys to plant one with me. And I'm gonna try to make it as least dizzy as possible by holding steady. I'm gonna grab my shovel real quick. Ooh. All right. Okay. Let me know if you guys have any other questions. Where did I put my shovel now? Okay, here we are. It's really sunny out here, so I think I'm just gonna plant one and then we'll just go back and sit. Okay, but here we are. Thank you guys for joining me. We're talking about garlic planting today. I just described for the last 30 minutes. I've got another little less than 20 minutes with you guys. And we talked about how garlic grows. And I was demoing the garlic that I've grown over the last couple of years. Oh, perfect. It's a little bit shady now in this area. I was going to demonstrate that I mentioned I'd been growing my garlic in kind of the same area as the last 2 years. And this year, just to prevent some of the, I don't know, again, I don't know if it's because I didn't properly cure it, or if it was because I had disease in my beds from repeatedly growing in those same areas. But we are going to be, here, let's see. So I grow my front lawn, in case that's new for you guys. And the reason is because I have great sun out here. That's why I do it. This is the sidewalk over here. And just to kind of border my garden area, I'm going to be planting garlic here. It's a new spot that I haven't planted in before. I just want to plant it all along the edges. I think that's what I'm going to do this year. Previously, I used to plant it in beds. And actually, now that I'm thinking about it, this is not the best spot. I have this, do you see that tree in the background? That tree is blocking a lot of my sun. It will eventually drop its leaves, but right now, it's actually pretty shaded. This whole spot is shaded, which is why I get shade. So hang on to that thought. I'm gonna go over here and plant it, this sunnier spot for now, where I don't have that big tree blocking my sun. Because like I said, garlic needs at least 6 to 8 hours of sun. Just because it's a winter crop like onions does not mean it needs any less sun. Richard, okay? Oh no, take care, Richard. Have a good one. Oh, hang on. Oh, I'm like really behind with the comments here. Real Housewife. You've got carrots, cabbage, kale, and herbs. Ah, how exciting. That is awesome, the Real Housewife. So productive. I love that. Off-grid, awesome. Hi, Jerry. Good to see you again. We are planting garlic today. I was just describing how it grows over the last 30 minutes. And now I was going to plant a sample garlic with you guys. Wickshire, being a gardener, find your best spaces. Yep. So as I was just showing you guys, that was not the ideal spot. Because as I showed you, my neighbors across the street, they have a big, let me put this down. They have a big oak tree. And that is not ideal right now because it's still full of leaves and it is blocking my sun, if you guys saw. So do be mindful. In the wintertime, the sun rises lower in the sky, so your placement of stuff is going to be different than what you probably had over the summer. All right, so here I am. I am, again, at the sidewalk, but just on the sunnier side where, if you'll see, that's my tree, my neighbor's tree that was shading that area that I originally wanted to plant it. And now I'm just going to plant it here where it's sunnier. This is also a good spot where, here, I'll flip it around for you guys. I got my basil. Look how happy that basil is. Look how happy that basil is. It's growing, and I got a little bees visiting. I probably got to harvest some soon, and then I will, like the Real Housewife you were saying, I'm going to blanch these and put it in the freezer. Blanching it preserves the color, and then freezing it, I'll be able to, I don't know, stir fry or at least put it on top of a basil soup or something. This is the basil. It's literally a bush. Anyway, so this is clearly doing well in the spot, and I'm gonna plant at least one of my cloves just right here. Here, let me turn it around so I can talk to you guys while I plant this, and also field any questions or comments. Let's see. We tried growing tomatoes in partial shade, big nope. Yes, especially, oh, sorry about that sun. It must be really bright. Yep, Wickshire. I think that was my first lesson, actually. One of my first lessons, I'm going to be planting this, is that sun. And I'm glad I learned it really early on, because otherwise I would have been crying. I would have been wondering why am I getting so little stuff when everyone is doing so well? I was growing in my backyard for the last 3 years, and it was just really it was work, and I wasn't getting as much as I felt like I should have. I noticed my neighbor across the way, who has a southern facing backyard, her yard was always so good, and she always had really good vegetables, even well after mine had died back for winter. Hers was still going for at least another month. And you know what it had to do with? It had to do with her sun and the way that her house kind of shielded. Her house was on the south side, was the south wall. It essentially shielded that microclimate so that she could have her garden start earlier than mine and also go for a month longer than mine, just because her backyard was facing south and mine faced north. So yeah, it was a really big lesson I had to learn, and I'm glad I learned it relatively early on. Big thing here. Again, that's the reason why I grow in my front yard. It's because it's sunny out here. Yeah, that's the primary reason. Okay, so I dug a hole. It's about 2 inches deep. My soil is not the best here, but I'm gonna go add in some compost that I have on the side. Let's see. Let's see, I'm just catching up here. Yes, I need to harvest the basils. Jerry, no. I'm in the US, Jerry. I'm in North Texas, remember? Not in the Philippines, North Texas. The Real Housewife. I put a bunch of basil and oil and ice cube. Ooh, that's great. Oh, that's a great idea, Real Housewife. That's also a really good idea. Does it change color? I guess no, right? The Real Housewife, does your basil change color when you put it in oil and freeze it? I think the answer is probably no, because you have the oil surrounding it. I was just thinking if I wanted to use it differently though and didn't want oil on it, I think that's where I plan to just blanch it, retain the color, and just kind of squeeze out the liquid and let it dry. That's a great idea too. Jerry, I'm in North Texas, and anywhere kind of south in the southern US, we have enough time to do a little bit of fall gardening. I am north enough though where we do freeze in usually mid-November. So I do plan to have a greenhouse situation in place and hope it's gonna work this year. Last year it worked part of the way. I made essentially a tunnel, and it was just way too big, and the wind would just kind of took it everywhere. We also had snow. We usually only get snow every 5 years, but we did have snow last year and it caved in. Anyway, Real Housewife, you answered me, not really, as long as it's covered. Okay, maybe I'll try that as well. Wickshire, now for some of us, fall is a great time. Yep, yes, excellent. What is it right now? It is 85 degrees for the high today. So not very cold at all. And all the trees are green still. See, look, so that's my neighbor's tree, right? That big oak tree that I said gives shade on my yard, that's green. Oh, sorry, I'm trying to block the sun. Look at all the green trees. None of the trees are turning colors yet. None of the trees are turning colors yet. And they won't turn color until maybe November. November is when they'll turn color. I hear even more south of me though, they do not have any color changes. It's just, they just don't have seasons any more south of me. Wickshire, we just dry basil on strings, wait 2 weeks-ish, then tea. Oh, then, yeah, oh, I love it. Yeah, you're doing, so Wickshire, you're essentially doing sun-dried basil. Love it. Jerry, your leaves are falling in Indiana. Yep, you guys are, yes. So it's ironic because I see all this autumn, fall stuff coming up on my feed, but it's not quite relevant for me. It's still a little hot to be having soup. I mean, we will occasionally have it, but it doesn't quite feel like soup season here. Northern Oklahoma is yes, right? Yeah, Real Housewife. You're not that you're not that much farther from me. Okay, I'm gonna flip it around so I can show you guys. So I dug a hole. All right. Ooh, it might be a little too deep. Okay, backfill it a little. Soil's not the best here, but and then I'm gonna plant it with the tips pointing up. Right, tips pointing up. The roots are gonna develop from the bottom. And then I am going to, and you'll see I kind of planted it interior a little bit. I gave it a little space because I don't want it too close to the sidewalk. Again, temperature fluctuations, right? So I'm going to plant it more interior, and then I'm going to go grab my soil. I have a soil compost mix that I'm going to grab over here and backfill it with. Let's see, what are you guys saying? Our leaves are falling. Oops. Hold on. Sorry. Yeah, it's so hot, right? We're still having popsicles over here, you guys. We're still eating popsicles, and it feels great in our afternoon summer heat. All right, here we go. I'm just getting some of this dirt here. Okay, this is my compost and dirt mix. Oh, here, just in case you guys are curious. Yeah, Jerry, yes, I do tend to do informative. I don't know. I feel like it's like the way to bring value. I don't know how else to do it. Like how else can I get, I don't know, aside from I guess other people provide entertainment. I just don't know what I would entertain on. So that's where I just go straight to informative, because I feel at least I have some knowledge here, and like who isn't interested in potentially growing their own food, right? And the people that do, they want to know how. So that's where the informative part fills in. All right. Oh, I got a little bit more dirt than. Hello, Moony Blue. Good to see you. Hi, Jackie. Oh, okay. We got 5 minutes left here before I want to wrap up. But I'm planting. We're doing a planting of one of the garlics. Oh, sorry. Super sunny. Real Housewife, you just harvested my last water. Oh, how exciting, Real Housewife. Yes, I did too. Well, okay, I still have I have two more. I have one more cantaloupe growing. I'll just show you real quick since I'm out here. I have one more cantaloupe growing. Oh, I forgot to remove I have one more cantaloupe growing. Look, the whole vine is almost, okay, I forgot to take it out of the container. This is what I use to protect my melons from mice and rats. Is it getting there? This is one of my last cantaloupes. And then just the other day, I harvested a personal size melon. Jackie, it's the one that I was sharing you guys the other day. I finally did harvest it. I think I left it on a little bit too long. It was still good though, still good. At least it wasn't underripe, right? Still good. And then I've got one more growing. Here, let's see. Can you guys see it? It's in there. Oh, I just had to protect it. It's a personal sized watermelon. And again, I put it in a container just to deter the rats from trying to snack on it. Let's see. Oh, we have very little fall colors here. Very sad. It's like a unicorn. Yeah. Yeah. Just last week, I harvested. Yeah. Mooney, hello. Worst. Okay. All right. How are we? Oh no. So what I finally figured out for melons for me was, at least for me,
I realized that I needed to grow them in my front yard because, like I told you guys, my front yard gets the best sun. And melons, like most, sorry, so blinding here. Like most melons, you need really good sun, right? You need at least 8 hours of sun. Okay, so let me finish planting this, just show you guys so we can wrap this up. So I got my dirt now, and then I'm just gonna fill it like this, cover it with my dirt compost mix. Okay, some of the chunks are a little hardier, but at least the soil is already moist. And then I already have this native soil that I'm just gonna cover over with it. That might have been a little deeper than I wanted, but it'll be fine. It'll be fine. Okay, done. Done. Let's see, what were you guys saying? Jackie, I didn't have a successful watermelon vine this year. Mellis. Oh, I'm gonna start following. Thank you. Oh, thank you, Real Housewife of the Fall. I'm excited. I'm excited to share ideas. Thank you. We will have the sun and the space to grow in 2026. I'm so excited, Wickshire. But honestly though, okay, so I mentioned to you guys, I have both a backyard, and that's where I started, and a front yard. The backyard is not much bigger than my front yard actually, and the sun is not as good. But honestly, I have not had a chance to tend to my backyard. Like, it's just, in between all the responsibilities I have, it's almost better if I have less space, because then I just don't have the time for it all. So Wickshire, you guys are gonna be really busy. But hopefully the kids will be able to help out. I mean, mine will help out, but it's very infrequently. So really it's mostly me doing all of the work. Anyway. Best part about garlic is it sticks out like a sore thumb. Can always find it. Yes. Yep. And on top of that, I'm planting it on the borders near the sidewalk. So now I don't have to label it because I'm not going to usually step in that area anyway. I'm going to be wrapping up here soon. Let me know if you guys have any other questions or thoughts or comments. Jerry, if you're still there, maybe you can let me know if there's other content that you feel like would fit my alley. But yeah, that's why I do informative, because I'm like, well, what else would I do? And I do care about growing food, so that is why I tend to choose these topics that I think are going to help other people. All right. Whew. Okay, it's hot. Jackie, but yours are also much cuter right now. You just train them a little and they'll be able to help you in a couple years, or maybe 5. Excellent, Wickshire. And congratulations on being retired. My eldest is allergic to work. Your eldest is allergic to work, Jackie. That's hilarious. And my youngest likes to bear acorns. That's cute. Next is cilantro. I did plant cilantro moony blue, just the other day. And I planted in a somewhat shaded area because cilantro, it's a little hot right now for cilantro. So I'm planting it in a shaded part of the garden. It hasn't sprouted up yet, but cilantro is on, I did already start cilantro. Jerry, when you're, oh, thank you, Jackie. I mean, thank you, Jerry. I appreciate that. I appreciate that. Yeah, I appreciate that. Wickshire, I cannot even get my daughter to go. She won't even feed the chick. Oh, really, Wickshire? I was gonna say, like, she could be pretty helpful. Well, darn. I hope my kids are different. That was a lot of work. Anyway, so my point was just saying, the front yard keeps me busy. Like, I have neglected the backyard altogether. It's just too much for me. But yeah. Yes, so I did plant it. Moony Blue, is there any questions I could quickly answer about cilantro? So you know what it looks like. Okay, cilantro is one of those herbs, right, that unlike the other ones, you need to be planting it every 3 weeks, just because it has what you would call a shorter lifeline, a shorter timeline. So after like a month or so, your cilantro will start to bolt, meaning it will start to go to seed, the leaves will start to taste funny. So they actually recommend that you replant So this is called succession planting. You replant cilantro every 3 weeks. So it's very different from the other herbs. It requires a little bit more upkeep just because you're constantly planting. But then the idea is that you get fresh cilantro, right? So that's how you do it. Jackie, I don't have any chickens yet, but she doesn't help me with the the animals. Oh, really? Yeah, the kids ask for dogs or pets, and I'm like, no, because guess who's going to be taking care of it? And I don't have time for that. So that's what I tell them. I was like, maybe if you can cook for yourself and take care of yourself, that's when we can talk about you getting a pet. Jerry, I'm guessing you've been. No, I haven't, Jerry. I only started growing after COVID. I think that's when after COVID, it was like, food not as in abundance anymore. And that was also a time that we actually had our own place. And so I was like, well, this is a good time for me to learn. And so I've only been growing for just like 4 or 5 years now. Fist bumps. Moony Blue, I see, it'll keep me busy. Okay, yes, cilantro, it needs to be continuously planted, but parsley, oregano, those are like plant once, continue to harvest kind of crops. Okay, parsley has a 2-year timeline, but oregano will come back every year. Mint is low maintenance too. What are the other ones? Thyme is also pretty low maintenance, just make sure it doesn't get too cold for it. Thank you, Jerry. Yes, very curious to learn, always learning, and that's maybe what seems smart. Just always learning, especially about growing your own food. I just think it's absolutely amazing. I power learned about soil around CV, COVID. Nice, awesome, Wickshire. After COVID, it was a pretty crazy milestone, right? This is only my 2nd year doing. Okay, Real Housewife. Well, awesome. You also had a really steep learning curve. Canning, I don't even do that. I don't do water canning. The extent of canning that I do is just like pickled in a jar, refrigerator stuff. That's all I do. It's also because I don't have enough space though to store all those cans. I literally have a pantry like the size of like a shower space, essentially. That is the size of my pantry. I live in a somewhat urban/suburban area, and yeah, there's just not that kind of space. COVID was, Wickshire, you're saying COVID was a push for many people to start gardening. Yep. Stuck at home, got dirt. Yep. COVID is definitely one of the reasons why I think a lot of people got interested in gardening, as well as a bunch of other hobbies. Polly, hi. I live in Denver and have had oregano last all year outdoors. Wow, dill grows like crazy too and will jump around. Yes, yeah, because dill will reseed. Yep, dill also has a timeline too. It's a little bit longer than cilantro, it seems, but not by a whole lot. Yes, Jackie, you have a time pantry too. So I will not be your water canning girl ever, because right now where I live, I just don't have the space for that. But I'm all about eating fresh and pickling and eating it within 2 months. Crocheting, how awesome. Jackie, you're so awesome. I do knitting and I can't wait to learn from you as well. Whatever, crocheting, awesome. Yes, the price of food is going up. Yeah, it is ridiculous, you guys, the pricing of food. Like, oh my gosh. Okay, I'm gonna have to jump now, but I will talk to you guys this coming Friday, same time. I'm thinking about doing maybe onion seeds again or garlic. I don't know. Garlic seemed like a really hot topic, which is why I did it repeatedly. I already talked about it last week, but I talked about it again today. So, yeah. Whatever it is, I'll pick a topic for Friday and we'll talk about it. Probably fall gardening related though. Everyone have a great day. Be well and take care. Talk to you guys then. Oh no worries, Jackie. Join me.